Hello from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Well, today's our Sunday show where I take comments and questions from the comment section of some of our videos and I answer them. So if you've got a question or a comment that you want answered, put it down in the comment section of any of the videos and we'll talk about it. So what this one stated was that with a sweep of a pen, President Joe Biden killed 500 jobs in West Virginia. Well, being from West Virginia, I'm like, well, I've got to look into this one. I had also seen a couple Facebook posts from friends of mine in West Virginia who talked about how President Biden got rid of 20,000 jobs, and the Keystone Pipeline is exactly what they were mentioning. So let's talk about that. So how's the Keystone Pipeline that goes from Alberta, Canada down to Nebraska affect West Virginia? Well, it doesn't directly. However, back in 2009, when Congress was talking about giving a permit for the Keystone Pipeline, Joe Manchin had gone on the floor, and one of the things that he had stated was that having a pipeline deliver the oil is much safer and it's better for the environment. And this is true. You have to remember in 2009, West Virginia had a horrible crash of a CSX train, dumped a bunch of crude oil, massive fires. It was a bad situation. So Manchin was correct. This would be a way that is safer. And also when you look at a pipeline, it's least likely to actually have ruptures and dumping oil compared to being on train or on the roads and that type of stuff. So that's where that came from. However, there was no jobs in West Virginia for the Keystone Pipeline to lose. But what about the 20,000 jobs? Well, kind of, sort of, no, not really. So the 20,000 jobs was if, in fact, that the Keystone Pipeline, the XL portion of it, was put in, it would have probably hired about 11,000 people to do the construction. These are all temporary jobs. Good paying, but temporary jobs. And to support the 20,000 people that it would bring on, it would take about another, or the 11,000 people it would bring on, it would take about another 9,000 people to support them. That's the local economy with hotels and food and that type of stuff. Well, the truth is that TC Energy, which is TransCanada Energy, stated that yes, getting rid of the XL portion of the pipeline. So let me explain that real quick. So the pipeline currently looks like this. And it goes from Alberta, crosses the border, comes over, and then comes down to Nebraska. So what they were looking at doing is cutting off the dog leg, and they were just going straight down. It would come from Montana across Nebraska into then eventually down to Texas, and then all the way down to the Gulf Coast. It was 1,100 miles that they were going to do. Well, the problem is that it was going to go across the Nebraska sand hills. There was going to do some aquifers and that type of. So environmentally, it's kind of been considered a sketchy project. Well, back to the jobs. Well, like I said, it'd be about 11,000 actual jobs of the construction, but that only was going to yield about 50 full-time jobs. So once the pipe was in, those jobs will all go away except for the 50 people that are being there. So this becomes more of a messaging thing than anything. The Keystone XL Pipeline doesn't match the environmental policies of the Biden administration. President Biden ran on this, that he was going to get rid of the Keystone Pipeline. That's why it didn't pass during the Obama administration. During the Trump administration, he was much friendlier to fossil fuels. It passed, but it's been tied up for 4 years in litigation. They have not been building pipeline whatsoever. It's just been in litigation. Now it's dead. So on the messaging side, we're going to hear Ted Cruz of Texas going to talk a lot about the pipeline. It's going to be a rallying cry for those who are against President Biden. You'll hear 20,000 jobs, which is not true. You hear 11,000 jobs, which is not true. You'll hear 1,000 jobs, which actually is true, but that's a split between Canada and the United States. It's not just U.S. jobs. And out of that 1,000, there's not been 500 jobs in West Virginia lost. So thank you very much for the question. Thought we'd look at it, peel it back, do a little analysis, and that's where we stand. So we started off, we verified, we analyzed, saw the messaging. I'd love to hear your comments. If you think I'm wrong about this, if you see it from a different perspective, please comment below. Smash the like button if you like this, and in order to get all these videos, make sure you hit the notification. Well, until we talk again, thank you very much.